Hey, real estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. How you doing today, Joey?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Good. You got the AC cranking.
Yeah, it's set to 77, so we're good.
Mine's at 76, and it's still running. Hey, agents, we've got a great guest with us in the house today, all the way from Salt Lake City. That's Dustin Brome, host of the Massive Agent podcast and co-founder of the Industry Syndicate. How you doing, Dustin?
Fantastic. Oh, but we've had the heater on today in Salt Lake. It was 35-ish this morning.
The heater?
That's right. We had the furnace on this morning, my friend.
I don't even know if my place has a heater.
Probably doesn't. No. What would you need it for?
Oh, that's funny. Hey, thank you so much for joining, man. This is great.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thanks for asking me.
Let's tell the agents that are watching and listening a little bit about Massive Agent Podcast, for one, because I think that you were rated as one of the top real estate podcasts, right? By Inman or something?
Yes, by crazy people, apparently, that never listened. But yes, it was 2019 nominated for Inman Innovator of the Year for podcasts, and I was one of the finalists. So that's cool. Not
awesome.
Complaining.
That's awesome. So they can just go massiveagentpodcast.com, right? Or just find it on iTunes or anywhere else. All
of the above. Yep, exactly. Yeah. So I started the podcast back in January 2018. Geez, it seems like forever ago, like a different world. It was as a means of just helping more agents to, break out of that, like, I'm struggling, I need to do something, or I'm going to quit the business type thing. Yeah. And just like tell agents what I did to build my business, and some marketing strategies that work, some lead gen strategies that work, and just try to add some personality to it as well. So we've been going strong every week since. We just dropped episode 124 today as of when we're recording, and having a blast. It's been really fun, man.
Wow, 124 now, huh?
Yes. You guys are ahead of me on that, aren't you?
Yeah, I think this will be 232.
Jeez. See, the consistency is amazing. Like that, people don't understand. To do 100 of anything is hard, especially consistently. To do 200 plus is super freaking hard. So congrats to you guys for being consistent enough to do that. I mean, that's...
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
I've got a ways to go.
There you go.
Yeah.
You'll get there for sure. I just know it.
Oh, it's happening.
Drive and you're going to do it. I remember listening to a podcast once where it was the first episode, and these guys were talking about, I don't even know what they were talking about anymore, but they got to the end of it and they're like, we're so excited to bring you episode number 2. And there was never an episode number 2.
Wow. I guess they weren't that excited. Yeah.
Very short-lived.
But they could, Jeff, they could still bring episode 2. So they're not liars. They're just not as consistent as we'd like to see. Yeah.
Well, let's get into it. So we'll talk a little bit more about the Massive Agent Society as well going in here. But why don't you start off with kind of what you're seeing right now with Facebook? Because I know you kind of as that expert, if you will, in the online marketing segment, especially when it comes to Facebook and Facebook ads and retargeting. And what are you seeing that agents should be doing, or what's kind of working now?
For sure. So right now, as we're just starting to come out the other end of this pandemic, depending on where you live, Facebook advertising, well, first off, posting on social media itself is what you should be doing for sure. Like if you're not at a minimum posting something on social, you're losing ground. You're really squandering an opportunity. To take it a step further, Facebook advertising is gold. The reason being, so many of our competitors sat down and took a month or two off because for many reasons. They wanted to preserve their money, so they stopped their ads from running, or they just didn't know what to post because people are hypersensitive emotionally about things, and which is true. And uncertainty and fear. It sometimes when we don't know what to do, we just do nothing. And the easiest thing to do is be like, I'm going to just wait it out a month or two and see how this all plays out. And that's understandable. So if you've done that, I get it. But those that have doubled down and tripled down during this time are gaining market share like you will not believe. but we won't realize it for 6 months. We won't realize it until we're looking back at the progress that we've made during this time, because at the same time, our agent competition is when they're sitting down and not spending money on ads or posting less, people are on social more. They're scrolling their news feeds more than ever because they're home and they're bored. And like this was in March sometime, but in the first month or so of the pandemic, when it really hit and the economy really started to shut down, there was an article that said Facebook newsfeed consumption was up 82% over the previous month. So damn near double. People are almost on social media twice as much as they were prior, and your competitors are on it less. So that's for anyone who doubles down and triples down, you're going to get so much more traction and so much more bang for your buck if you're spending money on ads. So, man, like you should have been doing this anyways.
Yeah.
This is not new. It's just, it's going to work a hell of a lot better, and you're going to have so much more success, and that success will cost you a lot less right now.
Got it. So you've seen the ad costs go down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there's an agent south of Charlotte. He's in like the Fort Mill, South Carolina area. It's not rural, but it's suburbs, I guess. He's never really run Facebook ads before, but he joined our program. He got 450 leads in 3 weeks.
What?
And those leads were like, some of them are like 20 cents. It's stupid.
Wow.
Like, it sounds made up, right? That's not normal. It's not common, but it's just where he's at, and the ads that he's running were just so perfectly timed and placed. And those are the results that I'm hearing a lot more of right now over the last couple of months than before. Our competition's way down, so your ad cost is going to go down.
So what type of ads? I mean, can you give an example of like what type of ad he was using, or what you're seeing kind of work?
Yeah, for sure. So that one was not even like, that was just a straight up list of homes. Hey, get this list of homes by opting in. It just worked for his geographical area. So it was offering a list of homes with acreage. So a list of homes that have over an acre of property. And I believe he even put a price range on it, like homes under, let's say 400 with an acre of land. And he just had a picture of not a farm, but like just a big ass property, with a big front lawn and the house way back. That was it. And it just said like, get your list of homes. And he's put a number to it. This is what we teach. Whenever you're offering a list of homes, say there were 73 of them today, like homes under 400,000 on, in Chandler, or even in a neighborhood in Chandler or something. There's 13 of them today. If you put a specific number and make sure it's honest and truthful, so, don't just make it up.
Right.
But there's a certain component to that makes people think it's real and want it. And so he's like, hey, there's 123 properties as of this morning. Here's a list. They all have over an acre of land, and it's just blown up, absolutely blown up. He didn't overcomplicate it with targeting. He just put targeting of like interest in Redfin, interest in Zillow, interest in mortgage calculator, interest buying a home, and that's it.
Yeah.
And
well, he's probably getting a lot of people that are shut in their small apartments right now are probably wanting to get out. They've been in there for a month.
Jeff, that's a good point. No, that's a really good point, actually. I think I hadn't even considered that aspect, but you're right. Like people, when you're stuck inside or in a small space, or even if you have a big space, but it's all you're seeing, you want more, you want out. And so all of a sudden this ad's like, hey, space, buy space. So yeah, I'm sure that factored into its success.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now you just said this is what we teach. So you're talking about the Massive Agent Society, correct?
Yes. Yep. That's our lead gen training and coaching program. We accept one agent per market, and it's a database of Facebook ads that you can copy and paste that, and that homes with acreage ad was one of them. He literally just copied it and pasted it and just like, changed the name of the community on it. And it was great. So a database of ads that are proven to work. But it's more Like, that's not the value. The value is the ongoing training and support. I know what it's like to not have control over my ability to get leads. And it sucks, because then you're beholden to a team leader or a broker or whatever, or even like a referral source, like a relo company or something, to get leads. And if all of a sudden that goes away, you're done, because you don't know how to get leads. The whole goal is to teach you to become a master of lead gen yourself, so you control it. So we give you the ads so you can get those quick wins. He got a very quick, very big win with that ad. But the goal is to teach him and our members how to do it, so they can create their own versions of it and move forward, and eventually not need us anymore. So yeah, it's called the Massive Agent Society. And it's a combination of online course and coaching.
Got it. No, that's awesome. And I know that you have a website for it, but they can go straight to Massive Agent Podcast, right? Also.
Yeah. You can
list it on there.
Yeah. MassiveAgentPodcast.com, has some of my resources. MassiveAgentSociety.com is the direct URL for that program.
Got it. And I know you said one person per market, or one agent per market, or whatever, but I know Phoenix probably has considered multiple markets.
Yeah. So Phoenix is big. Yes.
There's something available. They can go there and check it out.
Yeah. There are some markets within the greater Phoenix area that are still available. Scottsdale's taken, the Mesa area is taken, but there's still plenty of others. I mean, all right. You guys live in a big freaking area. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, lots of people around here for sure.
How many agents do you have? Is it like 40,000?
Oh yeah, I think it's pushing upwards, probably higher than that at this point.
Jeez, that's nuts.
That's nuts. Not a lot of transactions to go around for sure.
Right.
So with regards to the Facebook ads, I know you also are a contributor to housingwire.com, I believe, right?
Yeah. Yep. I read a column for them.
Or maybe had a podcast even about retargeting. So why is that such an important thing right now, especially during this time?
Great. This is a great thing to add on to the conversation we just had about why Facebook advertising is just such a goldmine now versus 3 months ago. It was still great then. Don't get me wrong. It's just infinitely more so now. Retargeting is just taking it to a whole other level, because what most agents do, and even those agents who outsource it to some agency that's like, we'll get you, 100 leads this month. And, if you don't really, there's so many variables to that, and there's so many details that matter. It's not about the leads. It's how many closings do you get? That's the goal. It's not getting leads. It's how many closings. So if you were able to, what retargeting does is it lets you put a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad in front of somebody who already knows you, that you're familiar to them somehow. And there's a bunch of different ways you can do this. But basically, if somebody visits your website, there's a way through retargeting that you can start showing a specific ad or a series of ads to just the people that visit your website. Mm-hmm. The concept there is branding and impressions and credibility. It's the same reason why if you're just calling people, sometimes or texting them, or it's a drip campaign, they don't respond for, you have to hit them up 7 to 9 times on average before they'll even respond.
Right.
They have to get familiar with you first. Most agents just run ads to strangers, and they can still have a lot of results. Like this guy in the south of Charlotte, he was just running that to strangers. He wasn't even retargeting with that. So you could still have a lot of success, but then you can start showing ads to those that have already seen you somehow. Maybe they're already on your email list. Maybe they're past clients. Maybe it's your sphere of influence. Maybe it's, like I said, those that visit your website, or those that have engaged with any content you put out there on Facebook or Instagram, and you can start showing ads to just those people. It's the same concept that Amazon and Target and Walmart and Purple Mattress and Fashion Nova and all these guys use. As soon as you go to their website, let's use Target, for example. If you're looking for a kid's car seat at Target on their website, then magically later that afternoon, you're scrolling your Facebook newsfeed and you see Facebook ads for car seats from Target. Wow. We've all seen it happen to us, and it's highly effective. But that's what they use. It's the same concept. It's just we can use it as realtors to show ads to the same people over and over and over, so we become more familiar, and eventually they trust us, they like us, and then it just converts so much better when you're not a stranger to them.
Yeah. So with that strategy, I know that you talk a lot about not speaking just about real estate.
Yep.
Are there certain messages? I know every agent's going to have their own message in their own marketplace or whatever, but I don't know. Do you have any examples of how someone might use not so much a real estate message to then start creating that potential retargeting audience and then hit them with something real estate later? Or what?
Yeah, I think that works. I mean, I've even before this pandemic, I've been a big fan of speaking about and posting about real estate as little as possible, because most people don't give a shit. They just don't. Like, they don't have a need for your 5 tips for first-time home buyers. They
Right.
don't. So it's better to have a much wider audience. So if you post about what's happening in the community, and of course you have to do this the right way. It has to be interesting stuff presented in the right way. So you have to still do it well. But if you become a resource that people want to hear more from, so if your Facebook page or your Instagram account or whatever, your YouTube channel, if people in what part of Phoenix are you guys in?
East Valley.
East Valley. So if anyone in East Valley, rather than just going to the Phoenix News or the local media company for all of Phoenix, they want to know what's going on in East Valley, or specifically Gilbert, or specifically whatever. If you can become that source of information and you just happen to sell homes, they're going to keep coming back, and their guard's going to be down because they're not thinking, hey, they're just trying to sell me homes or push real estate info down my throat when I don't give a shit.
Right.
They're going to keep coming back. So you're going to have a much, much, much wider audience. Then you prove yourself as an expert, you gain credibility, and you are the local expert because you're their source of local information, like companies moving in, attractions that are coming and going, what the high school sports teams are up to, all that stuff when high schools exist, when that's a thing. So you just have this wide audience, which helps you later on have that credibility in the eyes of most of the community, not just that small sliver of people that are looking to buy or sell at any given time. If you just speak to that group of people, you can have success, but nothing like if the community knows you, likes you, trusts you, sees you as a local influencer who also sells homes, because then people who don't even, who maybe they own a house and they have no desire to move ever, but they follow you, they like you, they learn naturally that you're an agent, and now their sister-in-law and their family needs to buy a place. Who's the first person they think of?
Right.
It's you and your company. So it's the longer play, but you have so much more success by doing that, and because your audience is so much bigger, that also
Right.
leads to more potential income streams, that traditional media can get.
Got it. Yeah. I think most people only think real estate about like every 5 to 7 years.
Yeah. I mean,
if they want to buy or
I
if they
think
want to
that's
sell.
becoming a little bit shorter, but yeah, like 3 years minimum. Like not everyone's looking to move every few years. Like I don't want to move ever. Like moving sucks. You know what I mean? So yeah, keep your audience as wide as possible, but still targeted within the communities that you want to work.
Right. What do you think about, could somebody do the same type of strategy, but use, instead of talking community, what if they talked a specific type of lifestyle?
Totally. Same concept. Absolutely. Yep. Like if you have a hobby, like if you're a Pez collector or something like that, which I may or may not have been in my life before I got married, before my wife made me sell that shit.
Is that, I was going to say, maybe it was behind that curtain over there.
No, I wish I still had those suckers. No, but it could be anything. You could be, maybe you play dodgeball on Thursdays, and dodgeball is a big part of your life, or you're into cars or motorcycles or a minimalist lifestyle. Anything where you can attract a tribe and people that are similar to you and have similar likes and interests, Absolutely. It's not just a community thing. It's a similar interests thing.
Got it. And I know you've also written an article, or maybe it was a podcast episode, about branding versus marketing. You want to elaborate a little bit on why agents should think branding over marketing?
Totally. Yeah. It's the longer game that works better. And we've kind of hit it a little bit with what we've already talked about, but branding works because it makes a brand familiar to people, and it makes a brand be remembered by people when the time is right. That's why Coca-Cola or Citibank or Safeco, some freaking insurance company, put their name on stadiums, right? And those are not cheap. Like, we're talking tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars for those branding opportunities. But it's a branding opportunity, and they obviously know branding works. It just works over the longer term. So you keep seeing Coca-Cola everywhere, on the side of this truck, on this stadium, on this banner in the outfield of a baseball game, or over here and over there. And pretty soon, when you're thirsty, you're going to think, I want a Coke. That's branding. The reason you think of Coke and not Fanta or some other thing is branding. Branding is so important. And as agents, like, these concepts still apply to us. These basic concepts of marketing and business still apply. So when you are branding and not going for the instant conversion, or if you are ever looking for a agent to buy or sell with, call me, and you put your freaking number on your Instagram post. Like that, that's not branding. Well, it is, just not in a good way.
Yeah.
People are learning who they don't want to follow. Branding, you have to understand it's a concept that's been tried and true over hundreds of years. It just takes patience and not being so, hey, I need a lead now and I need to convert it right this second. And if I don't, it was worthless.
Yeah.
It's not how things work.
Right. You know what I find, and I think Joey does too, when we do some of the when we were doing classes around the Valley, but even when we have discussion with agents, one of the top questions that seems to come up is, well, what do I talk about? I don't know what to share, right? How do you, whether it's in your coaching system or whatever, how do you help agents to actually get out from behind the curtain and share some type of message?
First, you have to know what you're trying to accomplish. Okay, so you need your goal, first of all. Otherwise, you're just throwing shit out there, which throwing shit out there is like, at least you're doing something. Putting stuff out there at least has some branding potential, because people are seeing your face, your name, your logo, and over time, they keep seeing it. That's usually positive. But you have to know what you're trying to accomplish, and what type of business you want to run, and what you want your brand to look like and feel like, and what success looks like. Then you need to figure out, what do you like to do? Because we have so many tools available, guys. YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. You could write blogs, you could podcast, you could do whatever. There's so many things you can do successfully. But what do you want to do? Some people physically shake with nervousness when the camera's on, when they're in front of a camera. I get it. I used to be like that too. I really did. So if that's you probably shouldn't start with a YouTube strategy or a Facebook Live strategy, right? You got to practice a bit.
Yeah.
But maybe you love talking and you're charismatic and you're likable. So podcast, then no one can see you. They can just hear you. So you've got to really narrow in on what you're good at and what you like to do. There's some things that I like. TikTok, I don't mess with because I just don't understand it yet, and I don't dance. And beyond dancing and pointing to some text on the screen, like, I don't quite get it yet. So I just spend my time on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. It's okay to do that. Yeah. Despite what some marketers, who are not practitioners, by the way, despite what some marketers tell you that you need to do everything everywhere, it's not realistic, because you also have to be an agent. You also have to show homes and sell homes and write offers and attend CE classes and market. So focus on what you want to do, and just hit it hard and get better every time.
Great advice. what are you seeing work better between Facebook and Instagram right now?
In what context?
Well, I guess, yeah, there's a few different ways, right?
Yes.
But you mentioned with your ads even that running Facebook and Instagram ads, when you run those, do you run them separately? Do you run it through Facebook and just let it also go to Instagram? Or
Good question. No, that's a really good question. Most results for the ads that we run to get leads work best on Facebook. Most of them. Some of them have worked better on Instagram, and it just depends. So the lead capture ads we have found pretty much across the board is better on Facebook. Some other stuff like video and all that can work great on Instagram. And it also, your audience, like who your audience is matters too, and the demographics of your audience. Instagram's demographics are different than LinkedIn's, are different than Facebook's, right? They all have different things, different people, different expectations when you're on the platform. So, but yes, the simple answer is Facebook. But yeah, unless you know for a fact that your ad or your campaign will work better on one of the platforms, try both. So you let it run on Facebook and Instagram and Messenger, and let it place the ad, which is done at the ad set level under placements. Let the algorithm figure out what works best.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So what if I change that to Facebook stories versus Instagram stories? Not ads, but just for branding purposes.
Yeah. Facebook stories are it's certainly growing, but I see whenever I just let the algorithm decide which placement will get the best results, it's 99% Instagram stories over Facebook
Really?
stories. Everything I've ever run has been that way. I've had other people tell me otherwise. That's why it's important to just let the algorithm figure it out for you. So the algorithm is going to, if you say, hey, show this on Facebook stories and within Messenger and Instagram stories, and my budget's $10 a day, once it figures out the best placement to get you the objective that you were looking for, it's just going to focus it all on that.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I know we've talked ads a lot, but when you just said algorithm, it made me think of a question I had earlier, which was the changes that Facebook has made with regards to targeting. Now when you choose housing, of course, right, you see a lot of things go away. So
the special ad category.
What types of things can agents still use for the targeting if they're choosing housing as the category?
Great question. So yes, if you guys are going to be running ads for it and you're offering housing or you're offering, thanks. Just got a delivery of food here. Apologize.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, a little English muffin with Nutella. This is fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Anyhow, I apologize. If you're going to be running ads that are offering housing, offering credit, offering employment, you have to check at the campaign level the special ad category. That strips out a lot of the targeting options that we once had when offering a list of homes or you're advertising an open house or whatever. But it doesn't mean that you can't run ads for real estate. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means you have to focus on interest-based targeting. So now it will not let you target by zip code. It will not let you get tighter than a 15-mile radius on the targeting. It will not let you target by gender, and it will not let you exclude. So you can no longer exclude agents and all of that, which kind of sucks. There's a kind of an end run around that. If you have great custom audiences built of people that you want to reach, you can still do that. But ultimately you want to focus on the interest-based targeting. So what we do with pretty much any real estate related ad is we use the interest of Zillow, Redfin, Mortgage Calculator, sometimes homes.com. I don't think it matters much. Buying a home, first time home buyer grant. And you're just giving the algorithm kind of a head start or a focusing, if you will. Like, hey, focus on these people. Now you go figure out which ones will get me the best results. That usually helps with the quality of lead. Maybe not how many leads you get, but the quality seems to improve. But you've just got to test. Like there's
Yeah.
no, this is not a black or white thing. There's no, this works, this doesn't type thing, because there's many variables. On my podcast this week, episode 124, we had one of my real estate friends from Utah on. He's been running the exact same Facebook ads for over 5 years. Some of those ads have been running for 7, 8, 9 years. The same ads. And he gets 1,000 leads a month because he's just been consistent. They've been really basic ads, and he's done zero targeting whatsoever. He just selects the geographical area and lets the algorithm do its thing.
Really?
Yep.
And where is that? In Salt Lake?
North of Salt Lake, in the Ogden area.
So how many people live in that area? I mean, wouldn't his gosh, what do they call that? The frequency, wouldn't it be like super high on some of those?
I don't know what his frequency is, but he never runs out of, like, he never exhausts the audience.
That's
because
great.
he's just left it wide freaking open.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And
great.
there's enough people. Like it's not Phoenix, but it's it's still the Wasatch Front, like the metropolitan area where Salt Lake's at. So
yeah,
there's still enough.
All right.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. Before we get to the next segment, is there anything else you think agents need to definitely know coming out of this pandemic time, or that we haven't covered yet anyway?
I mean, I could talk for another couple hours on that, so I won't. But it's just so important that people find you, that you have to do something so people find you. If you have no online presence and nobody knows who you are when you go to a listing presentation, and they're like, who is this person? First off, how the hell did you get the appointment to begin with? But they're going to Google you. And they're going to see all your competitors that have been working on their online presence or their social media presence. And so personal connections can be made with those other agents. But if you're not doing Instagram stories or writing or whatever, podcasting, anything, so people can make a personal connection with you, at some point you will be out of business. You'll be out of business because people don't want to work with this faceless brand. They want to work with a person that has a personality that they like and that they trust. Simple as that. There's no better way to get to build that trust, build that likability than social media content.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing, man. That's awesome.
You bet.
And then agents can just go to massiveagentpodcast.com, right? Check
That's
you
it.
out some more. All right. Agents, before we move to the next segment, don't forget sponsors of the show, Security Title Agency, as well as Fidelity National Home Warranty. So make sure to show them some love. All right, Dustin, we're going to get into the rapid fire real quick. Cool?
Awesome. I love
All right, let's do it. Favorite mobile app right now?
It was Starbucks until they started closing Starbucks's. Favorite mobile app, either the Industry Syndicate app or Pocket Casts, which is my podcast player. I love Pocket Casts, and I don't really do Audible anymore. I just rather listen to podcasts.
Oh, that was my next question. A good book recommendation.
Well, I can still do that. So the Hard Thing About Hard Things by I think is it Ben Horowitz, I believe. A lot of it's Silicon Valley startup type thing, but such amazing concepts, especially the first half of the book. So the Hard Thing About Hard Things.
All right. And I know you traveled a lot before this whole lockdown happened, right? So if you and your family were going to choose to move somewhere or have a second home, out of all the places you've been over the past couple of years, where would it be?
If it was up to me, Jackson Hole, Wyoming, for sure. I freaking love that place. And it's only 5 hours north of Salt Lake. But my wife wants to be someplace warm with the beach. So that would be Florida.
Okay.
So I have not been there yet, but the Gulf Coast of Florida looks incredible. Like Destin and even like the Tampa, Clearwater, like all that area looks incredible. Florida's water's warmer than California's, and different world. It's not as insane as California, and tax benefits. So it would be Florida, South Florida somewhere.
All right. And then once they lift all these stay-at-home orders, I don't know if you even have one there, do you?
Yeah, we did.
Kind of, sort of.
We did. They just lifted it May 1st.
Okay. When all the
Kind of.
restaurants and everything open back up, what's going to be the first thing you and your family will go do?
Most restaurants have opened. They just have
Okay.
to meet certain guidelines, like tables 10 feet apart and all this. You have to have a mask. Everyone has to have masks.
10 feet apart?
Yeah.
Even while you're eating?
Well, the tables have to be 10 feet
The
apart.
masks.
Yeah. Well, no. And that's what's so stupid. Like, yeah. Obviously not.
My wife
But-
said she watched a video on Facebook the other day, and it was a lady that figured out a way to eat while she had her mask on. She took like the top of these, the top of the handy wipe things that kind of clip
Oh,
open.
Oh.
Cut this part off and put it on there. And so she was like,
I like that. See, ingenuity. This is American ingenuity. One of the best things that's going to come out of this pandemic. No, I think just going out to eat with my family in general and just like doing that as an enjoyable change of scenery, that's what I'm going to do. There's, a
Yeah.
dozen different places that I want to go, but just freely doing that is what I'm excited to do. We could, but it's not so free. So we're going to wait on that.
there you go. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Dustin. It's been great.
You bet. Yeah.
Great
Thank you.
information. And you're supposed to be here in Phoenix, I believe, in October.
Yes. Yeah.
As of right now, anyway, it's scheduled for October.
Yep, I should be there for a Chicago title event called Flight Plan in Scottsdale in October. I believe it's early October. So, yeah, I'll be there. That'll be cool.
All right. Well, maybe we'll see you.
Absolutely.
All right, man. We'll let you get back to your day. Have a fantastic one. And thanks so much for sharing, man.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Until next time, agents, we will see you later.
Adios.
All right. Great.